Vegas, baby.
Welcome to the Fred Dryer Show. I'm your announcer, Michael Horn. And once again, here's the star of our show, ladies and gentlemen, Fred Dryer.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Our producer is Corey Marino. Corey?
Thank you. I'm Corey, and I'm here.
We thought it would sound like news announcers here on the show today. JD, Jeremy Dayton, also producing the show for us, getting all the camera shots set up here. Fred, how's your week going?
It's doing real well, Mike.
Thank you, Fred. You know, I know you always check out all the box scores and things. Anything to report that you've seen as an oddity in football, baseball?
Baseball
hockey,
is dead, Mike.
It's good. Oh, boy. Easter holidays coming up. Was spring break before Easter or was it after? We got a real good shot of Fred there.
It was during Easter, Mike.
It was during Easter. Let's just, if we could here, I'll help out our videographer. There we go. We got a real tight shot of Fred. Well, there you go. When Fred talks, he can be on the screen.
That's the look right there.
It's good. By the way, you know, we this show, not only a radio show for you, 790 KBC, our flagship station, Saturday nights for you. It's 3 p.m. Or 6 o'clock, I think, Pacific time. And then, of course, we're on Sirius XM on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern time. We like to give you different time zones so you can figure it out yourself. Keep the old mind there.
It's confusing to some, Mike.
Thank you, Fred. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to look at baseball today because I don't know about you guys, but the umpires have been making some really crazy, weird calls on the balls and strikes. So what do you guys feel about that? Fred, before you take that sip, what do you think?
I said at the top of the show, baseball's dead.
That's good. Corey, what do you think?
I was at the game last night, and they had some bad calls. I was at the Dodger game.
Now, can you see from your seats at Dodger Stadium how bad the calls are from your seats?
A couple of them, which is pretty astounding.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. I think they really, really don't want to work anymore and have those automated umps.
There doesn't seem to be any embarrassment on anyone's side.
It's crazy. And they did it in spring training. You could see how bad they were. And well, we're going to talk about that here, and amongst others, some good things here for you today. It is the Fred Dryer Show. Don't forget, follow Fred on X, Fred_Dryer, Facebook.com, The Real Fred Dryer. Email him, FredDryer@crntalk.com. We'll be back.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hi everyone, Tom Mustin here for the Legal Help Center. If you or a loved one were injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up, because we have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. You'll find out if you have a case and how much money it's potentially worth. Call 800-610-2400. That's 800-610-2400. The call is free, the consultation is free, and you can speak with a live agent 24/7. So, if you or someone you know are injured in an accident of any kind, take advantage of this opportunity and speak with a live agent right now. Find out if you have a case and how much money you could potentially get. Call 800-610-2400. That's 800-610-2400. 800-610-2400. Call now. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
The Kahanapali Beach Resort on Maui is open, and we are welcoming guests. All properties are taking reservations now. Come visit. Go to kahanapaliresort.com. Experience Kahanapali Beach Resort on the tropical west side of Maui, just a short drive from the airport. All highways are open, a collection of relaxing resort properties, our award-winning beach, delectable dining, world-class restaurants, and activities for everyone. Snorkeling, surfing, sailboating, water sports of all kinds, beach and ocean dining, stargazing, beautiful sunsets every night, golf, sun, fun, food, wine, and all in paradise. Visit Kahanapali Beach Resort on Maui. Relax. Reservations are now available. Start with a visit to kahanapaliresort.com. That's KAANAPALI resort.com. The Kahanapali Beach Resort is waiting for you. Welcome back here to the Fred Dreyer Show, the one and only Fred Dreyer Show. We're in the Sports Lounge, we being yours truly, Michael Horn, our producer, Corey Marino, and, of course, the one and only Fred Dreyer. On this show, new ideas are discussed, new ways to save sporting events, and we've got a lot of things to talk about today. Let's talk umpiring. Corey, you put together a big expose for us today. There's some stats here. They're awful calls after just the first couple of weeks here of the baseball season. What have we had? After the first full week, what did you find out in analyzing the baseball's balls and strike calls?
After the first week of the season, the umpires had missed a whopping 1,121 calls.
I didn't see it. I was looking and I didn't see the ball.
Which equated to 44 blown strikeouts across the week.
Now, that's a big deal, Fred. If you're a pitcher and you're having some trouble early on in the season, at any time, if you lose a strikeout because some umpire misses it, that's a big deal.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if it is or not anymore.
But the pitchers, here's the thing. That's just the first stat. We'll have more. The pitchers aren't upset. They're not arguing it, and yet they show it on TV with the replay where they got that little triangle there, and the ball is way inside or way outside, and the guy calls it a strike, and the announcers don't even talk about it anymore, Fred.
Well, they joke. The brave ones joke about it, and the other ones just kind of say, "What was that?"
Yeah.
They honestly don't know what to do with it because
it's so bad.
All of the guesswork in umpiring is right there in front of you. You got a guy supposedly with a veteran outlook on everything, common sense, reason, good eyesight, and it's a strike or it's a ball. They even put a frame up on the on home plate so to help you help you.
Yeah. And those catchers are pretty good. The catchers I can see where the catcher might trick an umpire if the guy's a little feeble and grab that ball and move it in a little bit quickly. But
that's another thing. Forgive me.
Yes, go right ahead. It's your show.
Here it is. It's another thing they've decided that we're going to fool the audience. And we're going to put more emphasis on really being proficient in calling balls and strikes. So what do? They put a frame.
Mm-hmm. Rectangular.
A frame that they probably brought from home.
It's like this.
Yes, that's right.
It's just right there.
They put it
it's a ball.
In the strike zone.
That's a strike in here.
And not everybody seems to understand what to do with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So my feeling is this, that all the umpires, it's going to take a movement. All the umpires are under the challenge every day, every week, every game, all through the season, to make sure that they can read that the ball, when they call a ball or a strike, is what it really is, exactly. A ball or a strike. I'm still of the belief that you can have arguing of the obvious.
Well, that doesn't happen anymore either. Nobody seems to usually.
Nobody will charge the plate. They used to. Tommy used to come out. Lasorda.
They'd shout from the dugout.
He used to yell, and he'd throw his hat down before he got out of the top step of the dugout, and he'd run over to home plate. And the umpire would meet him halfway, and Tommy would finagle some way to get his fatness around to the home plate so he could gesticulate to the balls and strikes. Right?
Well, he would start by sort of shouting in the dugout. He'd go, "You call that a strike? You call that a ball?" You know, and pretty soon the umpires like glare, and then he'd look in the dugout. Sometimes toss Tommy out of the game before he even got out of the dugout.
That really pissed him off.
Oh boy!
He didn't get his 2 cents.
Didn't even get out of the dugout.
He didn't get his 2 cents in. It was murder, and the fans wanted it. Soon as Tommy's little body popped up on the top step, everybody started applauding and yelling and screaming. To me, that's what you go to the ballpark for. You want the people that you support to make sure that you're fighting for them, because the umpire is clearly now blind.
Well, there's a story about that coming up. But, Corey, I think our producer, Corey, you had to come. And we send you to the ballpark. Fred and I don't like to go anymore. Too many bobbleheads. And, you were there. Nobody argued the balls and strikes?
So, actually, last night, the game against the Rockies, Dave Roberts was sitting there, and he did what you guys were talking about. It was an 0-2 count, and I think it was to Max Muncy or somebody, and they called it was a 3-0 count, and they called two straight strikes that were way outside, and Dave Roberts was letting them hear it, and all of a sudden the ump got up and walked over and pointed at him, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, because you can't get out there anymore.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it. You said it was the end of it, meaning that no more arguing?
No more arguing, or he was going to toss him even just looking at him wrong.
Here's me. This is me.
What would you do, Fred?
Here's
Let me
what
give
I
you the
do.
shot.
I would make sure that no umpire cut me off from home plate. I'd sprint right past him and turn around, and I'd stand on home plate, and I would, again, gesticulate to the umpire that he can't see what is clearly now, in this day and age, obvious balls and strikes, according to the framework that's been set up by Major League Baseball.
Exactly, and you would gesticulate, and you'd also point and do that kind of stuff. And I'm telling you, go back farther. Go back to Leo DeRocher and Jocko Conlon when they would kick dirt on each other's shoes.
Beautiful.
Wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I just read an article that it's also the umpires have too thin of skin. The umpires, before one of the games 2 days ago, told the players that we'll have a story coming up that they troll them by putting the challenging signal. He says, if any of you do the challenging signal, I'm tossing you right then and there.
Really?
Yeah.
So they don't even want to be challenged.
They don't even, because they can't challenge this year, so they're saying, wow, that would have been a ball if there was a challenge.
I would make sure that I had the opportunity to be ejected
and thrown out.
Every game. Every game, I would argue someplace at first, second, third base, down the right field.
So if you're the manager, Fred,
down the light field,
you'd go out there.
I'm out, and I'm working for my team.
I don't blame you. Listen to this. Corey, you got these stats here. I'll start the first one you go through. April 15th, umpires incorrectly called a ball with 2 strikes 28 times instead of 28 strikeouts. These at-bats led to 10 walks, 3 singles, and a double. That's cheating. What else you got for us?
On the 12th, there was an umpire in the Phillies game that
Scott Berry.
Yeah, Scott Berry, that gifted them a walk at the end of the inning instead of a strikeout. And the next batter hit a 2-run double. Berry missed 16 calls, and 12 of them went against the Cardinals.
This guy, Scott Berry. Umpire Manny Gonzalez on April 11th missed 14 calls in the Red Sox-Blue Jays game. 12 of them went against the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays lost by 1 in 10 innings.
They were cheated, no doubt.
No doubt.
Well, and that's the thing. All of these have, on April 9th, umpire Rob Drake missed 17 calls, most of them going against the Angels, against the Rays.
Yeah.
And the Rays end up losing they went 13 calls against them. The Rays lose by 1.
Well, that's all right.
I will bet you you could pull anybody out of the first base box seat.
Yes.
And put a black hat on them and stick them
They could call
behind home
better.
plate, and they could call a better game.
Now you're not just we're just goofing around a little bit, but you were in the stands. You could tell that the calls were off.
Yeah,
right?
there was multiple, and you can't say anything anymore. They just shut it down right quick.
Yeah, it's like the government.
And then on April 5th, umpire Scott Barber. By the way, he's got a great haircut. I don't know if you. And he gave Tyler Fitzgerald a walk on what should have been a strikeout in the bottom of the 11th, and Fitzgerald would have scored the winning run with 2 outs. So Barber missed the season high 24 calls in the Giants-Mariners game. This is ridiculous.
Well, I put down here on my paper, and I'm going to submit it.
Please, yeah.
I'm going to submit this
To the teacher.
to the teacher. That's you, Mike.
Thank you.
Right after the game, there's the square. This is the square right here. And this is how simple it is when you go out and tell the umpire, see this piece of paper? This is what I'm going to give you to work off of. And if I don't get thrown out for that, then all bets are off.
I think, Fred, maybe you should be the commissioner of umpires in the Major League Baseball. We'll talk, see if we can get Rob Manfred to go for that. We'll be right back here. It's the Fred Dreyer Show.
You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury. If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com. 310-873-4422.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
800-475-7125. 800-475-7125. That's 800-475-7125.
1 out of 2 Americans thinks their life is worthy of a book. Here's another startling stat. You may be one of the 15% of people who bothered to start your book and one of the 6% that got halfway through it, but your gem of an idea likely died. Or did it? Some published authors are making significant money, so join the ranks of the successful people that finished their books with help from Dorrance Publishing. Call right now, and our experienced editors and writers will explain to you what it's going to take to get your book completely written, published, and then taken to market to sell it. It's a free consultation, so call right now. Find out how much time and money it takes to finally get that book idea of yours published. Make your dreams happen. Call Dorrance Publishing right now.
800-786-1468. 800-786-1468. 800-786-1468. That's 800-786-1468.
And we're back here on the Fred Dreyer Show, the one and only Fred Dreyer Show. I'm Michael Horn, producer Corey Marino. Fred Dreyer, we call him the Sultan of safeties. 2 safeties in the same game. Clip 2 different quarterbacks in the same quarter.
I'm now moving in, Corey and Mike Horn.
Yes.
I'm now moving into Sultan of Pitch. Sultan of pitch.
All right, the new Sultan of Safeties is now the Sultan of Pitch.
During baseball, I lend myself over to the baseball jockeys, and I make sure that the following occurs. I'm going Earl Weaver. We all know who Earl Weaver is.
A great Baltimore Oriole
manager. This was
manager.
the greatest complainer. This was the greatest foot kicker.
He was whatever you just said.
On the first pitch that the umpire misses, I come out of the dugout like it was all a written script.
Like somebody lit a firecracker behind you, right? You come right out of it.
I just come right out of it, and I don't leave until I'm ready to leave.
That's perfect. Now, you talked about the great Earl Weaver. He had that relief pitch. Remember Don Stanhouse? He called him 2-pack because he smoked 2 packs of cigarettes.
Yeah, on his way to the mound.
Waiting for Stanhouse to close the game down in the 9th inning. That was he had confidence in his pitchers. 2 packs of cigarettes.
2-pack.
But when it came to umpiring, come on. Leo DeRocher had a little bit of these guys had some meanness there. They'd come out against these umps. Now, these guys are getting away with murder here, Fred. I'm telling you, Corey, I guess commercials are being made of this now. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I was on my X or Twitter feed, whatever you want to call it these days. But there's a new ad that LASIK, the eye company, the eye repair is running, and it says it was after they were talking about one of the worst so far this year, and JT Realmuto of the Phillies catcher was, and the ball was way outside, and it was an insane outside pitch, and
was he batting?
He was batting, and it was a strike. And
he would know.
He's a catcher.
He was livid, so they sent out this tweet saying, "Better vision, better calls. Still offering all MLB umps free LASIK. Our Philly locations will be ready after the game."
That's great.
We got to see if we can get JT Realmuto on the show so he can go back down pitch by pitch.
And the umpires get kind of fooled. I mean, first off, there's what is this? Harry Windelstadt, the late great Harry Windelstadt, good umpire. He's got this kid
he
Hunter.
He couldn't see either, so let's not get carried away.
The kid's even worse now. He's got Coke bottles there, I think, in his eyes. Anyway, so you got this home plate umpire Tony Randazzo, and apparently he's an umpire fell victim because the Giants have this catcher Patrick Bailey, and Bailey, I guess, is elitist in being able to grab the ball and move it into the strike zone quickly. Is that how it's done, Corey?
Yeah, just like Fred was saying, he gets into the frame, so they call it framing the pitch.
And he's the guy who did that to Realmuto that turned Realmuto nuts on it.
Yeah.
Mistakes happen, but this LASIK thing is out there. Better vision, better calls. And there's also an Orioles fan. Who's this guy? This umpire, auditor X?
Yeah, this is where I got a lot of the umpire news. He has his own Twitter account, and it's all he does is audit the umpires after every game they do.
Right.
And JD, our other producer, really liked this story. So
what happened?
The umpire, I don't have his first name here, but Bacon. In Sunday's game.
His name is Bacon?
His name's Bacon.
Hey, Bacon!
And eggs. It's his
eggs and bacon.
You can't see anything, Bacon. We better put a couple of eggs in those eyes of yours.
So he missed 17 calls, 14 against the Orioles, in a game between them and the Toronto Blue Jays.
Repeat it for Fred.
How many did he miss?
17.
That gives me 17 times to charge the plate.
But you will like this. The Bacon ejected Orioles manager Brandon Hyde in the third because he, after the second strikeout and probably one of the main missed calls, he went out there and gave him the business.
Good. See?
So he came in there and they brought in Pancake.
That's it. But the next time they play, we're going to have this for the umpire.
Yeah, you're going to show them your sheet with your marks on there.
That's right.
Watch a game. But what is amazing is last year, the announcers talked about it this year, they just kind of show it to you and don't say anything. At least say, look, this guy's blind. He can't find the strike zone with both eyeballs.
They got to start miking these guys up.
You should.
They have to start miking them up.
Be a great game to watch, wouldn't it? With the catcher, the batter, and the umpire all talking to each other.
And when I pitch, they get all of it.
And Fred grunting in the background. Put a mic on Fred. Oh, so you're going to go out and pitch, a manager pitcher?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. You used to be a big righty. I think you could
Well,
still bring it.
I am a big righty.
I think you can still bring it. You could also throw the ball too. This, I'm telling you, it is getting terrible. And next year, are they going to put what they call this thing the ABS system? Is that the automatic brake system that I have on my car?
It's
the same company.
Automatic balls and strikes, I believe.
Automatic braking, breaking the system.
They're breaking it now. Oh boy! So
or as we know it sometimes in the dugout, breaking your balls.
Never mind. Okay, Fred, we're here on the Fred Dreyer Show. Hope you're enjoying it. Okay, so in spring training, they had the automatic balls and strike system, and you could challenge the call. Now you can't in this season, right? This is a freebie season.
Yeah, it was just for the spring training. They just wanted to test it out, so they just wanted to see. So you can't challenge it this season.
What they find out when they looked at the results of spring training with the ABS system?
What was the
result of
they
having
said
the computer do it?
That the pitching team had a 54.4% overturn rate, which was better than if the pitchers called for a challenge. They won 54.4% of the time.
Okay.
The hitters won 50.5% 50% of the time, and the catchers were better because they could see the ball right in there. So it was 56% of the time. But that also means 50% of the time these guys are wrong. Over 50% of the time these umps are wrong, and that's after they have to challenge it.
Exactly.
Which is insane. And then each challenge, because baseball, worrying about time, only added 13.8 seconds per challenge, which only added like 3 minutes. So that doesn't really matter because no one wants a longer game if you have to challenge each pitch.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
I think you do.
You do what?
I think you want a little bit longer if the point is getting the truth about.
I think so.
The umpire and my vaunted pitch count piece of paper.
Fred, before we were in a heated discussion here on this show prep time, as we should actually televise that first hour of the show. Fred is in there leading us through what we're going to all be talking about. And you mentioned, and I think you're correct here, I haven't heard anybody talking about the pitch clock anymore. That seems to it's done now, and people are just
forgot about it.
The pitchers have gotten used to it now. They just start throwing, right?
Yeah, who's counting? There's no click off 5, 4, 3, 2. There's none of that in the game anymore.
Exactly.
And they made a big deal about it, and then they just decided, you know what? Let's stop doing that. We want to speed the game up. And then they decided, they foreshadowed this. They foreshadowed my invention, which was for every batter that comes up, he has, here it is right here, he has what? He has the framework right here of the pitch strike zone that none of these guys have ever seen before. They've never seen it.
It's got to be the first page on the new umpire handbook.
Fred, I love you and respect you, and I think you're really onto something here.
I think so.
And I want to add just one thing to it, see if you'll go for this. We actually have, Corey and myself will cut sheets of paper and we'll hang them behind the batter. So if the ball hits that sheet of paper, it's an automatic strike, and if it doesn't,
I'm going to put that up for committee.
You like that idea?
I'm going to put the
simple way.
I'm going to find out exactly how we get this made in droves.
So since we're not doing the ABS system, it'd be sort of a manual thing to see, and the pitcher should be able to hit the paper.
Something. You can't argue the clock because the clock's the clock. But you still now have left it up to common sense and reason. And if people don't understand that, then they got to start playing tennis.
And by the way, what's a complete game now? Have they changed that? It used to be, like a complete game back when I was a kid was like 9 innings. Now 5 innings, but I think they reduced it this year to 2.5 innings. If you're in the game, you can get the win. Is that correct now?
You just have to touch the ball, I think.
Is that?
That's what it is.
Nominated
I'm
as the starting pitcher.
I'm sure that makes sense.
Here's the thing with that paper behind the home plate. If you got a bullpen that's kind of wild, you can know where to make the cuts. If the bullpen can't even go and get it across the plate and hit that paper, why even carry it?
Well, you don't have a sport.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I think we're moving along in the right direction.
Genius.
And my strike and ball sheet is available.
Autographed by Fred.
Autographed by me. This is the original. We won't be flaunting it, but we will be letting people know it's coming your way.
And we have a new category. How many times has the manager been thrown out of the game? Because you're going to argue this stuff.
Yeah.
You could lead the league in toss-outs.
Oh, that would be, I'd be honored.
I'd be honored just to... No, and think how many people would go to the ballpark to watch you come charging out of there arguing.
I would put... Every time I came out to argue for my team, my pitcher, I would point to the scoreboard, and Earl Weaver and Tommy Lasorda would be up there in animation, kicking each other.
I'm telling you, that is missing from baseball. We got to bring that back.
Well, you got to have it. You got to have sport in the sport.
Yeah. You don't need to go and look at the review in New York or anything. Just have Fred Dreyer go out there and shout at the umpire and get into a good one.
Yeah.
Roll around in the dirt.
I'll have a surrogate in New York. Believe me.
Maybe
all
like
national games.
Best of two falls or something like that should be good. We'll take a break. It's the Fred Dreyer Show. We're changing the game of baseball.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 800-785-9618. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-785-9618 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 800-785-9618 right now to schedule your tax-deductible vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-785-9618 now.
Step into the world of Harmony Cheese, where Wisconsin's finest dairy traditions come to life. Our master cheesemakers have perfected the art of crafting exquisite cheeses using only the freshest, highest quality milk. Indulge in our signature Golden Age cheeses, a collection of handcrafted masterpieces that will tantalize your taste buds. Savor the tangy sweetness of cranberry and orange Opera jelly, the rich buttery smoothness of our aged Gloucester, or the bold, complex flavor of our Merlot cheddar. Harmony Cheese is more than just cheese. It's an experience. Every bite is a journey through the heart of Wisconsin, where passion and craftsmanship meet to create culinary delights. Visit our cheese shop in Athens or shop online at harmonycheese.com and discover a world of flavor that will leave you craving more. Visit our website at harmonycheese.com.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1,800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
back to the one and only Fred Dryer Show. Hi, I'm Michael Horn, learning to announce from Ed Hurley of Kraft Cheese.
It's so creamy and rich.
It's delicious from Kraft New Velveeta Cheese. The Kraft Music Hall. Hey, we got some comments from some of our great listeners. Rachel is out there in Birmingham, Alabama. Hello to her. Lori in Iowa. She has been listening to the show, and she's a little ticked about the umpires, so much so that she's been stuffing pasta shells while we've been talking about this, and she has apparently a tin about this high full of stuffed pasta shells there. Martine, Cape Canaveral, has forced another Cape Canaveral launch. Those women went up, by the way. Did you see that? I don't think at Cape Canaveral. They did it.
They got to
from
be
Arizona.
careful. They've got a left turn coming up. They've got to make
a Blue Origin. And did we get them back, or did they make a U-turn?
Well, it's left turn first that puts you into that U-turn.
6 women were in there. I'm telling you, it must have been a noise fest.
Who was knitting? I have to know.
They were there, I think. I don't know, quite sure. Jenny in Santa Maria has commented here. She's a little perturbed about the umpires. She thinks the umpires should be forced to watch the game when it's over with and see how many calls they missed.
I think they should carry a portable TV while they're calling balls and strikes.
This would be good.
I think they should stand behind after the game and get beaned for every pitch they miss.
I think, yeah, like a dunk tank.
Yeah.
Really?
That's serious.
Yeah.
But,
all right, then we'll do a dunk tank. We don't have to hit them.
Yeah, we just put them in the
freezing
water.
cold water.
That's it.
At Boston, Massachusetts at 11 in the morning.
That's perfect. Get in there and get a little sniffles. Alyssa from Italy is tuned in. She's listening late at night, by the way. She listens to our show. And Pamela says she's got good weather in Georgia. And there you have it. Good people there. By the way, email Fred. Fred promises now you're going through the mail, right?
Yes. Yes.
Fred Dryer at crntalk.com. Fred Dryer at crntalk.com. Now, since we're doing a baseball special here, the Dodgers have this great team. They put together a super team. But you came up with some facts here, producer Corey Marino, that the Dodgers, 29th in baseball in runs scored, with only the White Sox scoring fewer since April, up to April 3rd. They were not scoring very well.
No, and they're tied for third in home runs with 11 then at the time of this recording. But that means if they're not scoring home runs, they're not getting hits with people with running and scoring position. It's just you can't win baseball like that. You'll get your walks and you get your people on, but you got to bring them in.
They got a bullpen that's been good, but injuries. The Dodgers carry, I think, 45 pitchers, half of which are on the DL
at all times
at any given time. Anthony Bonda in the bullpen gave up 2 in the last 3 games. When you took this information, 2 earned runs. Blake Trinan 1, Vesia 1. Ben Kasperius, I've had some problems with him. He gave up like 6 runs.
Yeah, he had a lot of.
Ben did.
Yeah.
He had a lot of work
in
the
manager Fred.
Holy smoke!
Fred didn't even know.
I was out with the cheese wheel on the mound, and
Ben Kasperius.
And Ben 6. Was walking the bases juiced.
Do you know who's better than him? Miguel Rojas only gave up 5. And he was throwing in those big old loafer balls in there. And Luis Garcia gave up 4.
I got to talk about him later on.
You will?
Yeah,
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, good news for the Dodgers, because they have Clayton Kershaw threw some kind of simulated, what did he do, 3 innings, something like that, Corey?
Yeah, on Wednesday he threw 3 innings on a simulated game, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, and scoreless innings. And so it's a good start. We'll see how his toe reacts, because that's the big thing with him right now.
He had an operation on that toe, right?
Yeah, the arm, he says everything but the toe is good, so it's just, and the way he comes down off the mound with all that weight, it's got to be able to hang in there. So we'll see how he does, and hopefully we can get it back soon.
He got stalled off the roadway. I went by, and I just rolled my window down and shouted, "Need a toe?"
Oh, Fred liked that one.
He didn't appreciate that. He didn't appreciate it. Well, he had an injured toe.
Ooh.
Okay. Probably the most interesting statistic here is that Shohei Ohtani's the leadoff batter for the Dodgers, right? He's a great player. And he started all the Dodger games, at least the first 17 that we looked at. And when he comes up to the plate, there's only been 7 plate appearances when he's had, and this is in entire games here, runners in scoring position. So the bottom half of the Dodgers lineup was waking up. Now, the players, though, are commenting. Mookie Betts says, I think it's just a bumpy 2 weeks. And I think a lot of the Dodgers had illnesses. Mookie had it. Teoscar Hernandez had the illness. Kike Hernandez didn't have many hits, but the hits he had were home runs. And he said, I just feel like we have more guys scuffling than guys that are feeling really good at the plate. And then Dave Roberts, the manager, this guy puts it all in perspective. Listen to this. He says, our DNA as an offense, we do a really good job of beating the starter and getting the pitch count up and getting to the pen. He says, and I think for me that stands out. It's going to happen. It's just this last 9-10 game stretch, it just hasn't. And when you get guys that are kind of searching, they're looking more anxious than I think typically we are. Hitting is not easy, but I'm not overly concerned right now given we're at on the calendar. I know we're going to hit and I know we're going to score runs. He says we've just got to get back as to who we are. Dave is the consummate manager. You know, in basketball, they're firing coaches left and right, even in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, all the mics gone.
Did you know that, Fred? All the coaches named Mike.
They need their version of the strike zone. That's what they need. They need this. Strike zone.
I'm telling you, it's.
But the bullpen does have a little help right now. They have the Dodger bullpen has a rookie who has 11 innings pitched with 0 earned runs.
Who's that?
Jack Dreyer.
No relation.
I was going to say, I thought he's a good reliever. We got
to wait until the donkey comes in with the hay to find out if I want to claim any type of genetic.
Did you notice that guy wearing glasses, dark-rimmed glasses?
No, he didn't have his Pradas on.
Fred, are you moonlighting at night as Jack Dreyer on the Dodgers?
Yes.
Fred, I got to get your take on this next one here. Let's get to football.
You don't have to, but
well, I want your take on this. Let's get to football, and not NFL. Let's talk about college football. This guy, Nico Yamaliva, he's leaving or was threatening to leave last season here, Tennessee, to seek more money. Last season, he played, it was in the playoffs, and they were going to go into extra games in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, because they had extra games. They normally only participate in 12 games, but because of this playoff, it would have been 13 or more.
So stuff was happening last December during the playoffs with this kid included, but not just this kid. They were trying to get more money from Tennessee and other playoff teams before the playoffs. They were trying to leverage playoff participation.
You mean?
That's what Nico Yamaliva was talking about, threatening to not play, right?
Do you mean they were extorting? Were these punk-ass sophomores extorting our blessed college football teams?
The explainer says, our client is being paid X amount of money to participate in 12 games, maybe a 13th if you make the conference championship game. But you guys made the playoff. He should make money. Money. This is the kind of BS that's happening behind the scenes right now. And so these head coaches are a little upset about this.
This is an outrage. I'm outraged.
You know, the Tennessee head coach said there's no one that's bigger than the Power T. Is that Nico?
No, I think that's what they call Tennessee, the team.
The Power T.
Power T.
That includes me, he says. Today we got to see 110 guys that ran out and competed their butts off to give their all for Tennessee and do it the right way. But this guy was threatening not to play.
That was the coach.
Yeah, that was the coach?
No, that was the coach saying about
his team.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly talked about Nico Yamaliva, and he said, I think we're going to see a lot of this. This is a new world. I think this is the natural course when there weren't many guidelines out there. It's all about name, image, and likeness, and these college players want money. Lots of it, Fred.
Well,
what do you think?
Parents do, that's for sure.
Well, sure the parents
he said a lot of it has come from his camp, which is like his dad and like
his camp.
These kids are now having
alcoholic father.
Wait a minute. These kids have a camp already?
Yeah, he says his parents, his dad is one of the big motivations driving him to look for more money.
Oh, brother.
Let me ask you a question, Fred. In all your years playing football,
yes,
did you ever have anything close to a camp? It was you and your lawyer, right? That was it.
It was me and my lawyer and my neighbor, Mickey.
What did Mickey have to say with this?
He was always very affirmative. He was always very positive. He always said, sock it to him, get that cash so we can go to Manhattan Beach.
Camp. This guy's in college, and he's got a camp. He's got a camp.
We were so short on money in our camp that we had to use tiny footballs. You know the little guys?
Yeah, those little tiny ones.
Yeah, the little white ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, those are cheaper than regular eggs. You can use those for your Easter egg hunt this year, the tiny footballs.
Yeah, it might work.
That would be great. Now, the Miami head coach, I like this guy, Mario Cristobal. He says on holdouts, like following the Nico Yamalavia situation, he says, quoting Mario Cristobal, "We're not going to do it at Miami. If they want to play holdout, they might as well play get out."
Ooh, I love him.
I like this guy.
Yeah, he'll destroy the franchise, but that's all right. He's got balls.
He's got at least. I like that kind of a guy. And then this other coach, LaShawn Shady McCoy. Who's this guy?
Oh, he's an NFL player. He played on the Eagles and the Bills and all that.
So he says once the players have power, it's a whole issue. But for all these years, the NCAA has been taking money from these young kids for years. So what? It's college. I mean, you're going there, you're paying money for an education.
Well, remember what the original idea was.
What?
We've got to get these kids who are already on scholarship, we've got to get them a little bit more money so they don't have to stand in line at McDonald's and starve to death. That was what they said. It was all about taking and then that's when the players and their parents showed up and said, no, we want big time money, and so now they're taking big time money to a new height.
Yeah, name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, it's college. I mean, come on. If you make so much money in college, you don't even need to play in the NFL after this, right? Why have you made all the money?
They play out their option. They play it out, then they come back and re-up.
Get an option in college.
This guy's here making millions after they've reinstated themselves with another team.
Yeah, well, he said he was going to make $2.2 million if he stayed at Tennessee, and he left to look for $4 million from a team.
Yeah,
and it doesn't look like he's going to get it. It looks like the camp was wrong.
Well, the camp was wrong.
Damn, what happened to the camp?
I mean, I majored in radio, TV, film. Could you imagine if I demanded to go over to Cage J and take over Dave Diamond in the Diamond Mine? Mike Horn in the Horn Mine. How are you doing? Come on.
Hey, I'll go with you.
Well, yeah, it's the Fred, Mike, and Corey show. You want to do it?
I'm going to go with you. I'll keep the car running.
Hey, speaking of quartets here, the LA Kings, hockey-wise, they've improved their season. This is their best season record, I think, 48, 24, and 9. 48 wins, 24 losses, 9 ties, 105 points, a franchise record. And on Tuesday night's game was the first game without either Dustin Brown, Drew Doughty, Anze Kopitar, or Jonathan Quick in the Kings lineup over the last 19 years. Quick isn't even with the team anymore.
No.
But always one of those guys played in the last 19 years. Did they win that game without the Dustin Brown, Drew Doughty, or Anze Kopitar?
I would hope so.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
not a hockey man.
And that's our hockey report on the Fred Dryer Show.
When Wayne left,
sold you that TV at your house.
And he brought that TV over and said, that's it.
Loaded up in the house.
He's my guy. When he retires, so do I.
We'll be back.
You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury. If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com, 310-873-4422. Looking for a pharmacy that truly understands your health needs? At Westcliff Compounding Pharmacy, we specialize in custom compounded medications for patients of all ages, including pets. From pain management and sports medicine to natural hormone replacement and dermatology, our expert pharmacists create tailored solutions with precision and care. Trusted by major professional sports leagues and the U.S. Olympic Committee, we deliver top-tier medications you can count on. We are your source for ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and other treatments for COVID and parasite cleanses. Serving patients and physicians across California, we offer mail order service for your convenience. Visit us at 1901 West Cliff Drive, Suite 3 in Newport Beach, or call 949-272-0775. Or go to westcliffcompounding.com. Westcliff Compounding Pharmacy. Custom care, trusted solutions.
Investors, keep listening to learn how to get your free gold report. A currency crisis is upon us. The U.S. dollar has been the world's reserve currency for over 50 years, but that is changing. It's time to protect your retirement. Decades of reckless borrowing and spending have critically weakened the dollar. The U.S. has become the world's biggest debtor with over $35 trillion in debt. Plus, the dollar's become weaponized. Countries are dumping it. Investors who wait until it's too late could lose big. There is one safe haven: gold. Diversify your portfolio with a physical asset they can't take away. Call the Reagan Gold Group right now and ask for your free gold guide. Here's our number:
800-251-7963. 800-251-7963. 800-251-7963. That's 800-251-7963.
All right, welcome back to the Fred Dreyer Show. It's time for our hunter historian, Pamela Johnson, to give us this week's episode. Apparently, there's a sensational 3-part episode. Started last week. Episodes 2 and 3 going to be showing this weekend on Get TV. And multiple storylines because McCall goes undercover as a call girl. Check out that photo. We'll post it at thefreddryershow.com.
So that's where she was at lunch.
That's Anyway, she busts a prominent Superior Court judge who's had political connections. The political court judge is played by Robert Reed. But I don't think we want to look at him. Let's go see the bust.
He's a part of the success Hunter.
Yeah. And so they're joined by 2 other detectives. Apparently, in this episode, they're joined by Shelley Taylor Morgan and Eric Estrada in this series. And it's Fred and Eric are looking pretty good in this episode. Apparently, you guys working together in this one seem to have a good time there. Both of you guys looking pretty chipper.
My line was, when we're in the car, on the way to the scene of the crime, I would say, Eric, I'm going to drop you off here. I'm going to drop you out here, and then I'll meet you inside on the 4th floor next to the cotton balls. And he says, I got you.
I'd rather go pick
teamwork.
up Stephanie. Looks like she needs a ride.
That's teamwork.
Yeah. All right, so there you have it. What a great episode. I'm going to watch that on Get TV. All right, I think that's our show. After Stephanie brought the place to a screeching halt here, Fred. That's it.
Yeah.
Fred Dreyer going behind the home plate, going to be calling some balls and strikes for the Dodgers when they come back from their road trip. All right, that's our show. If you missed anything, follow Fred Dreyer on X at Fred_Dreyer, Facebook.com/The Real Fred Dreyer. Email him. He's answering his emails. Fred Dreyer.
Yes.
That's F-R-E-D is Fred. Dreyer, yes. D-R-Y-E-R at crntalk.com. Say hi to Corey Marino, info at crntalk.com, or here's truly Mike Horn. That's our show. And Fred's holding up the strike zone.
This is it.
Final thoughts from you, Fred Dreyer?
I'm going to Xerox about 18,000 of these over the weekend and pass them out.
Get your very own. Fred's going to have them available for you to email.
Dodger Stadium, and I'm going to share it with all the Dodger fans.
Paper strike zones from Fred Dreyer. Fred Dreyer at crntalk.com. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much for joining us.
If anyone should ask, you're listening to CRN Digital Talk Radio. News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. A federal judge finds probable cause to hold the Trump administration in contempt for violating his deportation order. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
Last month, the Trump administration failed to return 2 deportation flights after the judge ordered the planes be turned around. U.S. District Judge James Boasberg said the Constitution does not tolerate willful disobedience of judicial orders, and he could refer the matter for prosecution. He said the administration could purge its contempt by returning the deportees from El Salvador. But the White House responded by saying it will seek immediate appellate relief. Greg Clugston, Washington.
House Speaker Mike Johnson told Republican holdouts on the party's crucial budget plan in a private meeting that they could oust him from the speakership if he doesn't follow through with his fiscal promises. Details from correspondent Bernie Bennett.
Johnson pledged to abide by the House budget instructions, including a minimum of $1.5 trillion in spending cuts for the domestic policy megabill that Republicans are now able to pursue on party lines after last week's successful vote. The motion to vacate the speaker comes up often in the House GOP conference, but the speaker's comments acknowledge that fiscal hawks could trigger a vote on his removal as speaker if he doesn't follow through. Several people in the room are said to have chuckled after the remark, but hardliners are planning to hold him to it. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has warned that children in the U.S. are being diagnosed with autism at an alarming rate. On Thursday, he promised to conduct exhaustive studies that will identify any environmental factors that may cause the developmental disorder. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 699 points, the Nasdaq dropped 516, the S&P lower by 120. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Let me talk about Relief Factor.